joined us today. I am just starting the recording, so you might be getting a notice about that. And we're going to go live on Facebook as well. So you're all going to be famous by the end of today. But anyway, welcome to KindSoup's Afghan edition. We are cooking with Afghan chefs. We're cooking Afghan soups and stews, and we have the possibilities of sharing them with Afghan members in our community through a couple of the drop-off spots that we've listed on our website. I am not going to take too much time other than to give you a couple of the ways that we're going to work this today, and then I'm going to hand you off to Salma, who's our Chief Inspiration Officer, and she'll introduce you to Foodhini, which is a terrific meal delivery service and catering service that employs immigrant and refugee chefs to give you a taste from their home countries in your kitchens and in your dining rooms. So today we're gonna do it a little bit differently. We're gonna ask everyone to stay muted. All questions should go through the chat, and we will make sure that they get asked and answered. And that's just to cut down on the distraction for a chef for whom English is not her first language. So we'll handle that for you. And if you're new to us, we welcome you. We're so thrilled you're here. And I ask you to just put your name and email address in the chat. And with that, I would like to hand it over to Salma, who will welcome you to KindWorks and to KindSoup's Afghan style.
Thank you so much, Deb. Wonderful to be with you all. Welcome to KindSoup Afghan edition. Some of you may be new to these KindSoup sessions, so I will just take a quick minute to introduce KindWorks and this idea of doing KindSoup. So KindWorks, we're a nonprofit organization. We started about 13 years ago, and our mission is to inspire action for a kinder world. And we do that by making it easy for busy people like all of us on the call to take part in different volunteer and service activities. We do all the legwork, organize the different projects, share it with our email list and through social media, and people can just plug in as their schedules allow. So it's a no excuse way to doing good in our community, whatever time you may have. And during the pandemic, some of our work obviously was halted. We couldn't get together as a community. So we came up with this idea of cooking kind soup for the soul. Soup is such a warm and nourishing and nurturing thing to have. Everybody enjoys a good cup of soup. And so we decided to gather in our kitchens, safely, socially distant, connect via Zoom, and make a big pot of soup together. And each week we had a different recipe and a different person leading the soup making session. And we'd make a big pot, enough to serve our families that evening, and lots extra that we would package in cartons and share with shelters and food banks, with our neighbors, with people suffering from COVID, with anyone that needed a pick-me-up. Which is what soup provides. So as Deb said, we've shared thousands and thousands of quarts. It's been incredibly fulfilling. It's gotten us to gather in our kitchens and get to know each other better. And we thought with the Afghan refugees and SIVs that are arriving in our community, that it would be wonderful to focus several sessions on Afghan chefs, teaching us about Afghan cooking and leading us in Afghan soups, and getting these soups to our Afghan neighbors who are arriving. We thought it would be part of a way to welcome them to our community and to let them know that we are happy they're here, that we're here to support them, we're here to feed them and nurture them in whatever way that we can. So this is our first session, and we are so excited to have Foodhini, Nubsa, the founder of Foodhini, and Zainab, who is the Afghan chef who does amazing cooking at Foodhini, and Masuma is here, who's going to help us translate. And Nubsa, you have been such a dear friend to KindWorks for years. I think really from the beginning of starting Foodhini. It's such an amazing story how you came up with the idea to have this very special food delivery service. It's like no other. It uses immigrants and refugee chefs to really create a sense of home and a flavor of home. You know, so many of us, I'm originally from Pakistan, you know, miss that really authentic cooking, the way that our mothers and our aunties prepare meals. And that's what Foodhini does. And we're so happy to have Nupsa join us, and Zainab and Masuma. So I will let you, Nupsa, introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us about Foodhini, and we can get started.
Yeah, just checking, can everybody hear me okay? All right, so I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nupsa. I'm the founder and CEO of Foodhini. And then this is Chef Zainab, and this is also Masuma, who is one of our team members also. So she actually organizes all the orders that go out every day. So she has to deal with last minute customer order changes, ingredient changes. So she's the real superstar behind everything, getting all the orders out to everybody. But yeah, just quickly, Foodhini, we are an online restaurant that we started in 2016. And really it was about creating a space for people like my mom to cook and make a living for themselves. My parents came to this country as refugees after the Vietnam War. And they came from the Hmong group, which is an ethnic group from northern Laos. And so when they came to the United States, you know, they didn't speak English, they didn't have very much education. But one thing that they could do is they could cook. And so finding a way to make a living was often challenging. But yet they have this really amazing talent of making their own food. And so Foodhini is really paying homage to them, but then creating a space for people today, like my mom, like Chef Zainab, to be able to make their food, earn a living, and share it with everybody, with you guys. And so that's really what Foodhini is about. And I think more than ever right now, you know, we're in a position now to even help with the new families that are coming from Afghanistan. And what's even cooler is that Chef Zainab is actually able to feed them. And so we could talk a little bit about that later or while we're cooking, but that's just a little bit about Foodhini. And I know everybody wants to start to get cooking and stuff, so we can just jump right in if that works for everybody.
That sounds great, Nupsa. Thanks so much. And yes, let's start cooking, and then we can continue our conversation as things are simmering and sautéing. So what is the first step in making? Tell us a little bit about Lubya, this stew that we'll be making. Is it a traditional dish, and is it sort of a family recipe?
So Masuma, you can translate and see what she.
Okay. My name is Masuma. Nice to meet you guys. And then we are today gonna make a lubya, and this is the Afghan food. And then Zainab, she gonna make it, and whatever she have here, like the ingredients, whatever she needs to make the lubya, and then I just can help her. If you have any question, you can ask her, and then she can start it.
Yeah. So, Zainab, why don't you tell us the different ingredients that go into Lubya? So. Okay.
Now she gonna tell you whatever she needed. Zainab, what you need for the lubya? The lubya onion. Yeah, she needs the onion, tomato puree, and then jalapeno, garlic, tomato paste, salt, oil, and then lubya.
Okay.
Yeah. Now she's gonna start it, and she's gonna cut the onion.
Mamusa, while Chef Zainab is cutting the onion, there's a question whether or not to drain the beans before they are going to add them to the soup. Do you drain the liquid off the beans if you're using canned beans?
Okay, the first thing is because at home even we want to make the beans, we just use the dry one. But because it takes a long time, we need to make this one, the can one. And then because it's easy and it doesn't take a long time.
Yeah. So yes, strain the beans because we want to mimic what you would have done with the dried beans, right?
So this is just chopped very fine, kind of like medium chopped, basically.
So it takes one large onion, finely chopped.
Oh, a big no for the onion.
I know, but how much we're gonna add? We're gonna use that. Beans?
Yep, for this much. Yeah.
How much? I just want to say 1 onion for how much?
Oh, this is 6 pounds.
6 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 6 pounds, we can use 1 large onion.
Excuse me. Can you blend the jalapeno, the onion, and the garlic together in a blender?
We're actually not taking questions. Olivier, we're asking everyone to put their questions in the chat today, but you're lucky because Nubsa has heard you and I think he was about to answer you, but from now on, we're just going to put all the questions in the chat today.
Yeah, so we'll show you how to, if you have a food processor, you just put the jalapenos in the food processor.
Masuma, can I ask you to ask Zainab a little bit about this particular soup? Is it considered a soup or a stew? And is it something that is very traditional to have as a family meal? Is it made on special occasions or everyday occasions? Just a little bit. And also, how did Zainab learn this particular recipe?
She say actually the lubya for us is not like a soup, it's like a stew. And then she say she learned it from her mom, and it's not that like traditional food. It's regular food. Everybody can make it for lunch or for dinner, and it depends they like it or not. For some like specific traditional day or something like that. Just regular food.
Right.
If they like it, they can make it.
And do you usually have it with rice or with bread or just as it is?
Depends the people how they like it. Some people they like it with the rice. Some people they just use the bread, the pita bread, and whatever they like it, they can use it. But most of people they like it eat with the rice. Now she gonna start it and she gonna show how she can make it. Okay, she turn on the stove. Okay, 1 cup like oil.
Oh wow! Is that what kind of oil is that?
It's the canola oil.
Yeah, you use like a vegetable oil or canola oil, anything any basic oil that you have in the kitchen.
Okay.
So Mamusa, I got a couple of questions about the quantity of oil, but in fact, it does look like a ton of oil you're starting out with, right? It's more than just covering the pot, the bottom of the pot. It's up about a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot of oil. So yep. Everybody who asked me if that was the right amount of oil, it is. Go ahead and throw it in your pot because you're going to be cooking the onions in that.
Yeah, actually, she used this cup
Yeah.
for this ingredient, and then, but it depends how much you like oily or no. Because some people like it oily, some people no. They don't want to use too much oil. And for this much of lubia,
Yeah.
she wants to use this cup of the oil.
Okay. Okay, well, we want to make it your way first, and then we can decide the next time we make it if we like it less oily. But right now, we're all going to go with a cup of oil.
Okay. Okay. When she put the oil, just wait for like maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, just getting like hot, and then she can add the onion.
How hot should the flame be?
Not too much, not less, like in medium. Yeah.
So
Now it's hot. Yeah. Okay, now she gonna just put it the onion, and she wait for the time that the onion just like get the like
Little browned.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let me ask you another question from somebody while the onions are browning. Somebody's asking for the 6.5 pounds of cooked beans. Do you have any idea how many cups of beans that would be? Noopsa, do you have like a measuring cup thing somewhere that we can just pour that into and try to give them an equivalency? Susan's saying it's 14 cups. We have an answer. We're good. Thank you, Susan.
Maybe it's 5 or 6 of this cup is the beans.
Okay, thank you. And then I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but somebody's looking to chop up their jalapeno. Do you take the seeds out of the jalapeno for this dish?
If you don't like it spicy, okay, you can ignore it and don't put it the jalapeno.
Okay, so if you like it spicy, then go ahead and leave the seeds in. And if you don't like it too spicy, take most of the seeds out. Okay, thank you.
I guess we're waiting for the onions to brown. So if I can ask Zainab just a couple of questions about her story and what when she came to this country and how she is doing here. How is her family? If she has family still back home, I hope everybody is well.
Okay, she came to America 2019, and before there she was working as a chef also in like the government office for them. And then when she came here and she started in Foodhini after 3 months when she came to America, she started in Foodhini, and for now almost like 1 year she's working here, and she's doing it just good.
Wonderful, thank you. I know that, excuse me, I know that she has loved to cook since she was a young girl.
Yeah, she's very smart in cooking.
She learned to cook from her mom, watching her mom cook.
Yeah, she learned from her mom, and also she had some experience when she was in Afghanistan, and yeah, that's why she started here also cooking, because she loved cooking.
Mamusa, how about you? Will you tell us a little bit about your story?
Oh, it's Masuma, Deb.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Masuma.
Yeah, I came to America June 2017, and I was, before this job, I was studying English class, and for us, like, take a time, because when we come to America, you know, sometimes it's not easy for us, because different culture, different people, everything different, and takes time to like learn something. And then I just founded this job like October last year, and I'm very happy working here, and I love my team. I love my coworker. I really enjoy when it comes to every day to work, you know.
I did not coach her to say that.
That's wonderful.
Okay, so just for a question of beans again. So you got just a full one like this. It's about 108 ounces. So it's roughly a little less than, what was that? A little less than 4 quarts probably.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. So how much longer?
It depends. So because this is so smaller, it take a long time.
Mhm.
That's why. If it's stronger, it can
Okay.
do fast.
Do you want to show them how you do the jalapeno? Just like about some just the jalapeno is cut. Yeah.
She used the food processor
So yeah.
first.
Look at that, Betsy. She's not taking out any seeds.
Careful for the spice. It hits you once you take it out of the processor. Okay. So it's usually helpful. It's easy if you want to just produce a bunch of extra. It's good to just have it processed on hand, kind of like how we did it over here.
And then do you refrigerate it or freeze it, or you use so much of it that it never lasts that long for you?
We use quite a bit of it. I think jalapenos is probably one of the most popular, most used ingredients that we have in the kitchen. It actually goes in a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you can usually just, if you want to just refrigerate it, it should last like a week at least. And it's just nice to add some spice. And it's actually not that spicy. It's a good pepper to use if you're not, if you don't want to have something burn in your mouth, but it's good if you just want a little bit of a kick. So.
Okay, the onion, just the color is here now. And then now she's gonna add the tomato puree.
So, Zainab, how many tomato makes that much puree?
Okay. This one is like 4 big tomato.
And to make that tomato puree, is it just tomatoes with a little water in the food processor or something else in there?
It's actually, yeah, you just dice up some tomatoes and then you just put it in a blender, and that's pretty much it.
And did you say the garlic is already in there?
No, the garlic's over here. We haven't put that. So what's next?
Now she's gonna add how much?
It's like
1
1.5.
and a half.
Yep.
1.5 teaspoon tomato paste. And 2 teaspoon jalapeno. And 1.5 tablespoon garlic. And like 1.5 tablespoon salt.
So how long now do we wait
Okay.
for this? Now that everything is in except for just the bean, right? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. It depends the stew, but for 5 minutes, just wait for 5 minutes. Is the tomato puree, the water get dry, and then you can add the bean.
Okay, and then I have a question from people about the dried mint and pepper. Are those just for garnishes, or are you going to be using those in the stew itself?
I don't know. I don't think we have any. I don't think we had that listed as ingredients for the dish.
Okay, so no dried mint on this to serve it?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to give you guys some really, close-up views, because I know it's we gotta try to mimic the in-person as much as possible. So
It's starting to look delicious. Look at that.
so while we're waiting, we can maybe talk a little bit about just also, I don't know if you guys have talked a little bit just about over the last couple of weeks, we've launched this program called the Welcome Meals. And it's basically a way for us to help feed new Afghan families that are arriving in the United States. So we know that, you know, the journey to the US is quite daunting, and you know, to have a meal that's familiar when you arrive can make a big difference, just to make you feel a little bit more welcome and at home. And so we've been working with IRC, ECDC, and more recently with Lutheran Social Services. And so we're working with them as they resettle families, get families settled in. People are able to purchase a welcome meal and have it gifted or donated to a family. And so just within the first day of launching, people were so generous and amazing. There was like over 500 meals that people had purchased to give to new families. And so it was way more than we ever thought would have happened. And we're so excited to be able to give really familiar meals to people that are traveling so far and starting over. And it's been quite the experience to get this off the ground. And it's great to have Zainab here to give them that taste of home that I think is hard to find. So
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much, all of you, for doing that. There's nothing better really than having a home-cooked meal and a taste that's familiar and that's nurturing, and to be able to provide that. And Nupsa, thank you, and Zainab, Masuma. It's
one of the cool things is the dish, a Lubya dish that Zainab's making right now. That's one of the dishes that will be sent to families. And so all of the meals are set up where it's like a 3-dish Afghan style. So there's like chicken korma, there's the Lubya, and then also borani banjan, which is an eggplant stew as well. So very common, but very, you know, hearty and just familiar dishes for the new people coming.
And how can we get involved with that, Nupsa? How can people on this Zoom contribute as well?
Yeah, you can just go to our website, foodhini.com, and on the front page, you'll see a banner for welcome meals, and you can just click on that button to learn more. And if you'd like to or able to purchase some welcome meals for families, you can just do it right there, and they're just $10 a piece. So
thank you for doing that. And Nupsa, would you share a little bit about how you got involved in doing this this type of work? What inspired you, and how did you get started, and how are you doing? It's
sure. So for me, like I was saying earlier, my family came here as refugees, Hmong refugees from Laos, and so I'm actually from Minnesota, and then I moved out to DC for grad school, and so I was just missing my mom's home cooking. So I grew up eating, you know, really, really home style type of food from Southeast Asia. And I was like, man, how do I find that kind of food, especially in an area where I don't know anybody? And so I thought about, man, there's already so many, you know, wonderful people that know how to make this food better than anybody else. And most of the time you can find those people, you know, within different immigrant and refugee communities, because that's already the food that they make. And so it was kind of a way for me to satisfy my own appetite, but at the same time, you know, really try to create something positive for our community. And that's just a little bit of how it kind of came about back in 2014. Amazing.
And what are the different types of foods that you provide? Afghan, and what else?
Yep, so we have Afghan from Chef Zainab. We have Eritrean menu from Chef Ibrahim, who's from Eritrea. We have an Ivorian, Ivory Coast menu from Chef Veronique. And then we have a Lao menu that is made by our Chef Mem, who is kind of working in the background as well, as you can kind of see a little bit. Yeah.
Great. And I know recently you're providing delivery to the Bethesda area. Could you talk a little bit about that? I think many of us are in the Bethesda near about area, so we'd love to taste this delicious food.
Yeah, we just expanded to Bethesda for regular like dinner delivery. So if you wanted to order online and have it delivered to your family, to your home for dinner one night, we just expanded to basically all of Bethesda. And so now you can order a meal and have food from all the different menus delivered to you, and be able to taste just a bunch of different flavors from around the world. So, and you can just find that at our website at foodhini.com.
I've done that for many, many months, the tasting menu from around the world. It's wonderful. Each week, it's a surprise what foods from what area you get to try. It's always delicious. So Nupsa, thank you for all that you do to support our communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although I want to file a complaint that you're not in Potomac yet. But other than that, thank you for all that you do. I actually drove down there last week, so people can do pickups if they are not yet in an area where they deliver. I have a couple more questions, if I could ask. And boy, I love how it looks now that you've added the beans. I hope everybody cooking along with us is kind of catching up to where we are. Everything should have been in, but the beans for 5 minutes of simmering together, and now the beans are in, and it's all just cooking together. I thought that we had listed coriander as an ingredient, had we? And is that wrong? Is there no coriander in there?
No coriander.
Okay, and no salt or pepper, just what you've put in, and that's done.
Yeah, well, the salt, we had salt, about a 1.5 tablespoons of salt.
Oh, yes, you did. That's right. No pepper. Okay, very good. And then this is a more general question. If we were going to want to give spices to a new family so that people could cook Afghan food and be comfortable with what spices are in their pantry, what are the requirements? What do Afghans have to have in their pantry so they can cook the delicious foods that you love so much and grew up eating?
What do you think?
Which spices are essential?
Like, when at home, what, like, you need salt, pepper, you need cardamom, what for you, Afghan means what spice, what pepper, what flavor?
Oh, okay. Like for me, when I make it at home, I put some black pepper, salt, and also sometimes jalapeno or sometimes the red pepper, but not too much the cardamom, no, the coriander, no. I don't use that. No. But this one is, I think, not too much spicy, not less. Medium, yeah, good.
Masuma, what did you say between black pepper and jalapeno? I missed that word.
Red pepper.
What kind? Red pepper. So red pepper flakes?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So red pepper flakes and not coriander like we all believed, right? And not cumin?
Some people like it, some people no. But for me, I don't use it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you. And do you cook at home too?
Yeah.
Yeah? Ah, good. Good.
That looks delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I may have missed this. There's fresh garlic and then there's salt. Is there any other spice that needs to go on here?
No.
No?
Just garlic, jalapeno, salt, onion, the tomato paste.
Wow, okay. It's pretty straightforward. That's great.
Mm-hmm. So if we want to freeze this to deliver to families, do you recommend maybe we put a third or a half of rice on the bottom of it, since it's kind of a stew? How will they most like to receive it? Or just a quart container of the red bean stew, the lubya?
Good for freeze, this one.
For freeze, yeah, but not more than 1 day.
Just temporarily freeze. And just serve it plain as is, and they can make rice themselves. Don't serve it, don't package it with some rice?
No.
No, okay. There's a question, if you could, Noobsa, if you can show the camera pointing down into the pot again. People want to see what it looks like. Beautiful.
So Ms. Sumar, can you ask Zainab how long does she cook with the beans in the stew?
در طول Okay, generally when she put the bean and then she just waited for 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes to cook the bean and all the ingredients together.
Are you looking for it to thicken up, or really just for the beans to absorb all the taste of the tomato and the garlic and the jalapeno?
Yeah, how do you know when it's ready?
میگه مثلا شما چجوری مطمئن میشی که پخته شده یا چجوری مطمئن میشی حاضر هستی؟
این دیگه فقط که دیگه این سر روغن قامت دیگه جوره دیگه تن تیار شده دیگه او خلاص خوش کردن یا که نماندش دیگه که نماند سر روغن نه روغن
Yeah, because she add the tomato porridge as a little bit watery, and she just waited to just like dry the water and just the oil and the sauce mix together very well, and then it's ready.
Okay, so somebody had asked whether it should thicken up, and if yours is a little watery, yes, let it cook till it thickens up a little bit.
Deb, maybe you can talk about how we're going to be sharing these soups and stews.
Yeah, so, we ask that everybody who's cooking with us today share what they've made with people in their lives or people in their communities. And we've provided on our website some food assistance providers and some drop-offs that are going to actually deliver to Afghan families. And these are often newly arriving refugee families. So there will be a place down in the Palisades area of DC where you can drop off your soups, and they may be getting delivered tomorrow. So if you drop off by noon tomorrow, they may head out to Virginia and go to some Afghan families out in Virginia. And there is and if it's later than tomorrow, it'll go in the next delivery. So it's no worries when you drop off your KindSoups. And there's also a freezer set up in one of the nonprofits that we work with to set up homes for refugee families out near PG County in Riverdale. It's Homes Not Borders listed on our website, and you can drop off 10 to 2 daily there. And then as they set up homes for refugee families, they will grab a couple of quarts from the freezer and put them in the freezer of these new homes so that people who are coming from the airport can open the refrigerator and see a welcome meal that we have put in there, or Foodhini has sent over, and also have some Lubya in the freezer. So they'll be able to extend their taste of Afghan food without having to worry about how to cook and where to shop and how to learn a whole new way of life. So check the website and see where it's convenient for you to drop off your KindSoups. And then also please remember to label what you're delivering with your name, first name and last initial, today's date, that you have made lubya, or you can call it a bean stew, because some of the families that'll be getting what you have made will be from food assistance providers. So they don't know what lubya is, but they do know what a red bean stew is. So that's great. And mark this one vegan, because there's nothing in this that would offend a non-meat eater or someone who's trying to be dairy free. So mark this one vegan and let everyone know that it's open to all. And then we have a link on our website at the where it talks about delivering your soups that we call contact tracing for the kindemic. And I ask you just once a week to report in how you shared your soups. And that's true whether you're giving it to your mother-in-law or you're giving it to the Homes Not Borders to deliver to families, or a combination of both. Just let us know how many quarts of soups you have shared with others. And that helps us keep track of what we're doing and how well it's going. So we appreciate that.
Hello, everyone. This is Ragad.
Oh, hi, Ragad. Salam alaikum. How are you?
Salam. I'm fine. How's everyone?
Good, good. So glad that you joined us. And let me just introduce you to Ragad, who is just an amazing, amazing soul in our community. She is the founder of an organization called Mosaic, and they have been working with refugees, particularly Syrian refugees, but refugees from many different countries for the past many years. There's so much that they do, including cooking meals, using refugees, chefs to cook meals. And right now they're preparing welcome meals for Afghan refugees. And she's been a partner to KindWorks and a friend to us for so many years. We just adore her and value her partnership and her friendship and all her work in our community. And Ragad is actually going to be taking many of our soups to the newly arriving Afghan refugees. So Ragad, if you can talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so we have the drive that we called Iftar Meals on Wheels, and those meals are like hot halal meals. We've been cooking for a few weeks now, twice a week, and delivering them to the door of the newly Afghan refugees' families. Many of them are still in Airbnb and hotels, so they don't have any access to kitchens, or they even don't have any cash to buy food. So I haven't thanked you enough for the introduction. You always make me feel so, thank you so much. I don't know what to say, but I'm very proud of this partnership, always and forever, Selma and Deb and Alexa and everyone at KindWorks. And I really adore what you're doing. I'm very proud with being sisters together. So tomorrow we will be cooking. So we will be serving 90 meals tomorrow, and we'll be very happy to deliver KindSoup. Please make sure to label it with KindWorks or KindSoup or whatever you like, so it's labeled so we can deliver it at the same time. We do the cooking at our kitchen in Chantilly, and all of the meals leave from there to different parts of the states, some to Arlington, Fairfax, Alexandria, Falls Church, Manassas, Woodbridge, Fairfax. So yeah, that's
Thank you so much, Ragad. Thank you for your partnership and for all that you do for our refugee neighbors. You really are an angel. What I love is, you know, so many people give so much of themselves and their time and just their heart to do whatever they can. And, you know, we're all in this together, and we at KindWorks are so appreciative of the partnerships that we've been able to form, so that we can do more and we can create a bigger impact and just be more efficient and effective in what we do. So Ragad, thank you, and Mosaic for your partnership.
Thank you so much. And another thank you also, another welcome from the Syrian refugees to the Afghan refugees, because they are a big part of this project. And they are helping in cooking those meals along with other volunteers. So we are truly sympathize with all of the refugees who are arriving and who is still like in crisis, inshallah, we'll be able to help them. We'll be able to be there for them.
Yes, inshallah. Thank you to Foodhini as well for your partnership, Nupsa and Zainab and Masuma and the whole team there. You've been with KindWorks for many years, supporting us, providing delicious meals during our Inspiration Day and various other cooking projects that we've done together. So we appreciate you and we value all that you do for our community. I think Hannah of Homes Not Borders might be on this call. I saw Hannah. And if you are, Homes Not Borders is another amazing partner of KindWorks. They set up apartments for refugee families and we're working with them to do that. Another way that you all can contribute, if you'd like to, we'll mention a few other things that KindWorks is doing. As I mentioned, the apartments and the partnership with Homes Not Borders, we're providing for these apartments food, fresh food and produce and spices and other essentials that the family needs. You know, each family that arrives is given a certain amount of funds. And we're trying to make those funds go as far as possible. So to the extent that we can provide things that they may need and save sort of the money that they get for other necessities and essentials, we'd like to do that with your support and with your help. So that's one way, just for making the kitchen as usable and full as possible. We also provide sort of extra things that they wouldn't necessarily get in an apartment. For example, a sewing machine or a pressure cooker or a vacuum cleaner or bicycles. There's so many things that, you know, go into making an apartment functional and just you know, effective in day-to-day life. So we try and provide those things as well. And a final thing that we do is cook welcome meals as well. I know Ragad and Nupsa have both mentioned welcome meals, but that's another thing that we do, gather as a community, friends, family members, and cook a delicious meal from Afghanistan or wherever the family is coming from, and put it in beautiful dishes and place it in the fridge the day that they arrive. So again, it's a way to welcome them, to make them feel like we are here, that we care, that we're happy that they're our neighbors now. And so this is something that we've put together, a welcome meal kit with recipes and ingredients. So if anybody on this Zoom would like to get together with your neighbors or family members or friends and cook a meal together, we will make sure that it reaches an Afghan family that's arriving. There's some logistics that we need to work out, so please get in touch with us with Deb or at info@dokindworks.org. Let us know that you're interested and we'll hopefully make it work.
And I think before we let you all go, is there anything left? Let's see.
This is the finished product.
Delicious. It really has thickened up a little bit, I think. Yeah. Yes. Delicious. Well, I wanted to not only thank you, but read you some of the exclamations that I'm seeing in the chat. Looks delicious, tastes delicious. People did a little bit of their own things, which our group always does, and they're apologizing, but no need to. You know, however you make it, we're thrilled that you made it with us, and it does. I agree, Olivier, it tastes delicious. They can't wait to share it with their neighbors. That's so fun. Somebody didn't have enough red beans, so she used some garbanzos, and she says it still looks and tastes delicious. So I'm excited to have all of you had tried this with us today and to be trying Afghan food if you hadn't before, and to share it with people in our community. It's wonderful. Thank you so much to Foodhini for kicking us off today. You guys rock. And thank you for sharing a little bit about yourselves and your delicious food. And thank you for joining us, Ragad. And I want to also say hi to Wendy Chan, and thank you for joining us. We'll get to introduce you next time, I hope, because you're another great resource for welcoming refugees in our community. So everybody else have a wonderful, wonderful week. Join us next week. We'll be making something with Wally. What are we making, Salma?
We're making an Afghan stew with Wali, and Wali is one of the families that we helped settle in a few years ago. We set up their apartment, and then his brothers and his sister-in-laws and various family members who arrived, and he's also a dear friend to KindWorks, and he'll be cooking stew with us next week from Ohio. They've moved to Ohio, so anyone can join anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world on these Zoom calls, and we hope that you'll spread the word and join us again. And it's just feels so good to be connected in this way and do a little bit of good.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Thank you so much. If anybody hasn't left me their name or email address and we hadn't met you yet, please do, so I can say hello to you by email. And everybody have a wonderful week. And thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, KindWorks.
Thank
you.